Welcome to Kingdom Now, the podcast featuring faith with an edge, as we celebrate the kingdom of God within you. I am your host, Dr. Leanne Marino, apostle, author, podcaster, professor, and theologian, and founder of Spitfire Apostolic Ministries and all the works that go along with it. I am excited to share this program with you as we explore the ins and outs of counterculture Christianity present as you live out the kingdom of God in your everyday life. Want to learn more? Visit my website at kingdompowernow.org. And now, our program, which features a variety of formats here, just for you. Interviews on a variety of relevant topics, teaching and preaching proclaimed everywhere from my North Carolina studio to Sanctuary and beyond, and powerful insights here for now as we turn the world upside down everywhere we go. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, happy whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. And to our listeners in Denmark, we say hi. We hope that whatever time of day it is when you are listening, that you are having a good one. And I am Apostle Dr. Leanne Marino as your host here for the Kingdom Now podcast, where we feature the theme of faith with an edge. And if you'd like to learn more about the world of counterculture Christianity, feel free to visit my website at kingdompowernow.org. So this is actually not an official episode. For those who followed the podcast for a while, you already know this is actually our season 6 promo episode. And so, for those who are listening, we will be returning with Season 6 starting September 17th. So yes, that means we will be back earlier than we have been in years prior, because we made some adjustments to our schedule this year with the goal in mind to offer you even better podcast quality than we have in years past. And we know that there are certain times of year when you, our listeners, get busy, and maybe you're on vacation, or you're dealing with your kids being at home, or you're working a special summer job, or maybe even sometimes at holiday times you're busy and you don't always have time to tune in. Well, we are arranging our schedule so that you will be able to hear all year. And so every year I set the goal to do better than we've done before. And as our new season is actually already in production, so we've already got 3 episodes recorded as of the date I'm doing this. We are definitely in production and preparing for our September 17th premiere. And I can say that I believe this will be our best season yet. I always try to make sure that every season is better than the last. And so I'm really believing that season 6 has a lot in store for us. But I want to be honest in saying that our seasons would be nothing without all of you, our listeners, who took this podcast literally from 1 or 2 listens for our first few episodes. And I am not kidding or exaggerating with that. I am not being dramatic. If we had 50 listeners for our first, 3 or 4 episodes combined when it first came out, it was a lot, to now over 5,000 listens per month. This is big, y'all. We are in over 100 countries. We have new countries that are being added all the time. Literally, we are being heard in new places and in new regions as I'm speaking. And I tell you, I find myself very sincerely overwhelmed with gratitude for each and every one of you, because you are really what makes this podcast special. When I wanted to do podcasting, and I have said this before in some episodes in different ways, I came from radio. I had done radio for a number of years across a number of different platforms, being actually on FM radio. I believe it was FM or AM radio. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but I was on radio where you actually had the little box and the dial and listened in your car. And then we went to internet radio, and I was on in the Caribbean and in different parts of the world, including parts of Africa and parts of the United States. And then I discovered podcasting, and one of the things that I really do love about podcasting is that I feel like I'm able to have a better relationship with our listeners than I ever was able to when I did radio. It was kind of like you did radio, and everybody's kind of like at an arm's length, and there really weren't a lot of easy ways, particularly in those days, to contact everybody, because we were still transitioning to social media being new, and then social media kind of took off, and it still was not the most accessible platform like it is now, but we can really connect through podcasting. And that being said, I know I love getting feedback from people who say this is the best podcast out there on subject matters out there. And yes, people say that. We actually have a review about that up on Apple, which I'm really, really grateful for. I always love to hear that we really help someone better understand something about themselves or the world around them, or to enhance their faith. These are all conversations that matter. I'm even going to say, if there's something that maybe you don't like or a complaint that you have, I don't even care if you send me those. Communication is key. And for this reason, we always want to hear from you. I always want to hear with your feedback, your comments, your questions, maybe guest suggestions for someone you think might be a great fit for our show. Send those along to me. Go to my website at kingdompowernow.org and go to the contact form and fill it out and send me a message. And we will get that message. We will process it. We will look it over. Sometimes we respond. Sometimes we don't, depending on whatever it is. Contact me on social media at Kingdom Power Now. I will give more information about that in a few minutes. But, feel free to reach out and talk. That's what this is all about. This is why we're all here. Also, we now host advertising on this program. I have resolved to take the ads back overall from the general pitches that are heard on here. So, for example, you can note Empire Transport is a sponsor of Kingdom Now, and you definitely want to check that out at empiretransport.co because their website is all new. And if you have transportation needs in South Carolina, across the country, something of that nature, definitely check them out. But we would also love to advertise your company or work or something that's important to you. And essential information for advertising with Kingdom Now can be found at kingdompowernow.org. It's both on our media tab, so click on the Kingdom Now Media Kit, and on the link that says advertising under the contact tab. And definitely reach out because we would love to work together in this project. So a couple general reminders for keeping in contact. As always, follow me across social media at Kingdom Power Now. Facebook, X, or Twitter, or whatever it is now. Instagram, TikTok, WordPress, and beyond. You can find me there at Kingdom Power Now. And there is also Pathos. So I have a Pathos column titled Leadership on Fire. It is about all things related to leadership, whether you want to learn more about leadership, whether you're in leadership, whether you're interested in leadership. And you can find that at pathos.com/blogs/leadership on fire. That's pathos.com/blogs/leadership on fire. One of the nice things about Pathos is that you can sign up to receive notification of my weekly column posts. They are up every Wednesday. You don't have to subscribe to everything under the heading, but you can just sign up for my column. So sign up if you haven't already. I talk about a variety of things over there, and a lot of the time the topics that I talk about on Pathos do overlap with what we're talking about on here. So once again, pathos.com/blogs/leadership on fire. Also, don't forget Tumblr at Welcome in This Place, WordPress for Sanctuary's Leaders blog at youarewelcomeinthisplace.wordpress.com, and at the Kingdom Power Now on YouTube. There are still some things here and there in progress, but overall a great deal of progress has been made, especially since the beginning of last season. All our websites have been updated. Our seminary program is all new, and it is at acts176.org. That's acts176.org. It is Apostolic Covenant Theological Seminary, and many all-around new things that are in the works. So we are excited about what the next few months will hold through the rest of the year. We're also preparing to introduce our first merch line, which will be available as soon as we get everything together. We've got some designs in progress, working on some things, and actually, I'm the one who's designing a lot of the merch, and it's actually something I enjoy doing. So I definitely look forward to all that's to come with that. Now, I also know that I've mentioned an email list for like the past 2 seasons, and I haven't made much progress on it. That has not been intentional. It's more like the reality that maintaining ministry and yes, still also working is sometimes a lot. And it's also easy and tempting to just do things on social media rather than disciplining for the email list. But the way social media is going these days, and sometimes that social media networks can ban or block us for no real clear reason, I want to discipline myself to get an email list going this particular season in season 6. If you'd like to join our upcoming email list, once again, go to kingdompowernow.org and visit the contact page and fill out that form and let us know so that we can add you and we can have your information there when we start. So what's upcoming this season? As I said earlier, recording has already begun. We're going to be doing a 28-episode season, starting it earlier and taking a break midway through. So we're going to run from September to mid-December and then take a hiatus to return in February to run through the end of May. And we have some great episodes coming up for you in Season 6. I try not to give away too much of our upcoming season simply because recording schedules and such can change. But we have a few things that are definitely going to come up. So I don't know actually as of the recording of this what our premiere episode is going to be. I did have a guest lined up for it. That guest is going to appear most likely later in the season, but I don't want to commit that guest in this episode simply because some things have happened, having some health issues, and so I'm not sure if the recording is going to get done in time or not. I'm not really sure exactly, therefore, what the first episode is going to be, but I can tell you a couple of things that I do know that are coming up. We will definitely have more live programs from Sanctuary because I've taken note that you guys really, really do like those and you really do take to them. And so my live recordings from times I preach at different churches or from when I'm at my own church, Sanctuary International Fellowship Tabernacle, which you can visit at welcomeinthisplace.org, I will definitely have recordings live from there. And so that may wind up being our premiere episode. Like I say right now, I'm not sure yet. If it's not the premiere, it's going to be in the first few. We're also going to have returning guests, including ministers Nick Lewis and Charlie Reap. We're already in the process to talk about some of that. We know we did Minister Nick Lewis's testimony last season. We're going to be doing Minister Charlie Reap's testimony this season, and so that's going to be coming up. We're also going to have Julie Harvey returning from Australia, and I am hoping a few other guests from past seasons will be excited and ready to drop in to visit here and share with us about some new topics. And we also have a new guest who's going to be on. Once again, like I said, I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be because working out some scheduling stuff, but we are going to definitely have at least one very special new guest this season, and I'm going to let that be a surprise who it is and why they're a special guest. We also will have our seasonal favorites. I will do the next segment on the Christian Chronicles, discussing Mill Church history. I will be back with our series on the Bible for normal people with parables for normal people. We will do a book of the Bible nobody likes, and we will be back with a few programs on religion, including one on the sacred name movement and one that answers the general question, do all religions lead to God? Which is a common sentiment among the general populace, so the question deserves an honest answer. What else is there to expect? I have an exciting book release scheduled for some time before the end of the year, so it would fall within this upcoming season, and as I sometimes talk independently about different books I've written, this one I expect to have others come on and speak of it as well, because it is a book that's that much of a deal. It is a rewrite from an older one that was so overhauled, it's basically a new book now, with much to say and much to come about it. And I know that personally, this is one of those times where a book release is still a huge deal, and I'm honestly excited to share this with all of you. We will also feature more live teachings, as I mentioned before, which I know are often favorites among those who listen. Live from Sanctuary, sermons, and occasional Sunday school message, and as always, sharing different aspects of life, of the experiences we are having right now, and things that pertain to our walk of faith in this day and age. So be sure to join with us, whether you are first discovering our podcast or you are a returning listener who has been anxiously awaiting our September 17th release date. Come along and join in on Season 6. And while you wait, feel free to go back and listen to previous episodes, considering we have well over 100 of them, and catch up so that when Season 6 starts, you'll be ready to join us and jump right in. Thank you for joining us on the Kingdom Now podcast today. I pray it has proven to be a blessing in your life. To learn more about this work, ask a question, submit feedback, advertise with us, be a guest, or donate to support this work, as our podcast is sponsored by listeners like you. Visit my website, which contains essential information, projects, and links for other points of contact around the web at kingdompowernow.org. Also, if you are in our area and would like to visit Sanctuary International Fellowship Tabernacle, visit welcomeinthisplace.org. Until next time, this is Apostle Dr. Leanne Marino reminding you that the kingdom of God is within you, and that means the kingdom is now.